Hollow Grove. A name that tasted like ash on the tongue. A name that carried a weight of despair. The village, nestled deep in a valley, perpetually wore a shroud of mist, as if the very air conspired to keep it hidden from the world. Ancient trees, gnarled and stooping, clawed at the edges of the fog, their twisted branches like skeletal fingers reaching for something unseen. They whispered secrets in the wind, secrets dark and cold, secrets that seemed to seep into your very bones. The sun, a pale ghost, rarely touched the valley floor, its weak light struggling to penetrate the thick, oppressive mist. Shadows stretched long and hungry, swallowing laughter and hope in equal measure, leaving behind only a chilling emptiness. The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and something else. Something unsettling, like fear given form, a tangible presence that clung to your skin. The villagers, weathered and grim, spoke little, their voices hushed, as if afraid to disturb the oppressive silence. Their eyes, when they met yours, held the reflection of ancient sorrows, a deep, unspoken pain that seemed to echo through the ages. They knew the truth of Hollow Grove. They understood the silence that held them captive, a silence that was more than just the absence of sound, but a living, breathing entity that watched and waited. One night, a chill deeper than winter cut through the village. The wind howled like a banshee, tearing at thatched roofs and rattling shutters. It was then that he appeared. A horse, black as night, standing atop Widow's Hill. His coat shimmered under the sickly moon, smooth as polished obsidian. But his eyes, those burned with an unholy light, cold and sharp as shards of ice. The villagers, huddled in their homes, felt a primal fear grip their hearts. This was no ordinary beast. This was something ancient, something wicked. The Midnight Stallion, they called him in hushed whispers. Harbinger of sorrow, thief of souls. Days turned to weeks, the stallion's presence a suffocating weight on the village, and with each passing day, something shifted in Hollow Grove. It began subtly, almost unnoticed. A farmer awoke to find his loyal sheepdog gone, its barking silenced. A young girl's cat, her constant companion, vanished without a trace. At first, it was just animals, their absence noted with a sigh, a shrug, a sad shake of the head. But the disappearances escalated. A prize-winning rooster, gone. A family's milk cow, vanished, each disappearance shrouded in an unnatural silence. No struggle, no sound, just emptiness where life once thrived. Fear, like a creeping vine, began to choke the hope out of Hollow Grove. The villagers, desperate for answers, turned to old whispers, to legends told around crackling fires, legends of the Midnight Stallion. They spoke of a creature, ageless, malevolent, that fed on the life force of living things. They said it stole souls, leaving behind empty shells, devoid of warmth and light. They said the wind carried its whispers, promises of peace and oblivion, luring the unsuspecting into the darkness. And now, they whispered fearfully, the stallion walked among them, its hunger growing with each passing night. No one dared speak its name aloud, for fear of drawing its attention. They only prayed they wouldn't be the next to offer their souls to the night. The children of Hollow Grove grew restless. Their nightmares bled into their waking hours, filled with the stallion's burning eyes and the chilling emptiness it left behind. But something else troubled them, something unspoken. Their rooms felt different. Cold spots lingered, even in the heart of summer. Shadows danced in the corners, even when the candles burned bright. And a strange energy, a hum just beyond perception, vibrated in the air. Toys moved on their own, their melodies distorted and haunting. Drawings on the walls morphed into grotesque depictions of unseen creatures. The children, their eyes wide with terror, knew that something was terribly wrong. One night, a child screamed, His cries, sharp and terrified, ripped through the oppressive silence of Hollow Grove. The night was still, the air thick with an eerie quiet that made the scream all the more jarring. Villagers, their hearts heavy with dread, rushed towards the sound. They moved as one. A wave of fear and concern, lanterns casting flickering shadows on the cobblestone streets. They found the boy, his face pale and streaked with tears, pointing a trembling finger at his bedroom window. His eyes were wide with terror, reflecting the moonlight that seeped through the glass. "The horse," he sobbed. "It was here. I saw its eyes." They glowed like embers in the dark, watching me. His parents tried to soothe him, but they too felt the chill in the air, saw the way the shadows seemed to writhe and coil. The room felt alive with a sinister presence. Something was different. Something was present. It was as if the very essence of the room had shifted, becoming something unrecognizable. It was then that they noticed the change in the children's rooms. The air was thick with an unspoken fear, a palpable tension that made their skin crawl. The once bright drawings were now dark and disturbing, filled with images of tormented creatures and swirling darkness. The innocence of childhood had been replaced by something far more sinister. Toys lay scattered, as if thrown by an unseen hand. The room, once a place of joy, now felt like a battleground. And the air, it vibrated with an energy that sent shivers down their spines. It was a feeling of being watched, of something lurking just beyond the edge of sight. The stallion wasn't just stealing souls, it was hiding them, imprisoning them within the very walls that were supposed to protect. The house had become a prison, a place where shadows stirred and nightmares came to life. Panic seized Hollow Grove. Their children, their innocent hearts, were now vessels for the stallion's dark harvest. The once peaceful village was now a place of dread and sorrow. They were trapped, their souls slowly being consumed by the shadows that clung to every corner. The darkness seemed to grow thicker with each passing night, suffocating any glimmer of hope. The villagers, their faces etched with despair, turned on each other. Fear and suspicion spread like wildfire, igniting old grudges and creating new ones. Accusations flew like poison darts in the darkness. Every shadow seemed to hide a potential traitor, every whisper a potential threat. Their fear, their desperation, threatened to tear them apart. The bonds that once held the community together were fraying, unraveling under the weight of their collective terror. But then, a whisper emerged from the chaos. A whisper that cut through the fear, offering a glimmer of hope. A whisper that spoke of an ancient ritual, a way to break the stallion's hold. It was a ritual long forgotten, buried in the annals of time. It wouldn't be easy, the whisper warned, for the stallion fed on fear and despair. The villagers would need to summon all their courage to face this malevolent force. To defeat it, they would have to confront their own darkness, their own deepest fears. Each villager would need to look within and find the strength to overcome their inner demons. The villagers, their eyes flickering between hope and terror, knew they had no other choice. The fate of their children, their future, depended on their bravery. The fate of their children, the fate of Hollow Grove itself, hung precariously in the balance. Every decision, every action, would determine their survival. But as they gathered in the moonlit cemetery, prepared to face the unknown, a chilling realization dawned on them. The air was thick with tension, and the silence was deafening. The whisper, the one that offered them hope. It hadn't come from one of their own. It was an alien voice, a voice that sent shivers down their spines. It had come from the wind, the stallion's wind. The very force they sought to defeat had been the one to guide them, leaving them to question everything they thought they knew.